If you've ever felt like you're running on fumes, you have all these hiring and firing decisions that you have to make. You have to keep up also with the endless demands on you from your role description. You have the unavoidable office politics and the drama that you cannot avoid. You just have to deal with straight up. You're beginning to feel numb, but you're too exhausted to stop. You are in the right place. In this video, I'm diving deep into 7 major signs that you're emotionally exhausted as a leader, and most importantly, what you can do about it before it starts affecting your career, your health, and your personal life. Hi, welcome back to my channel. And if we are meeting for the very first time, my name is Nancy. I'm an author and I'm also a workplace leadership trainer. I do help women in or aspiring to take up leadership roles to transition and settle and even thrive in these roles without depleting their emotional and mental resources. They say health is wealth. I agree. So you mostly find me here discussing topics on matters along leadership lines, professional growth, career advancement, all the while minding your overall wellness. So if this is the kind of content that resonates with you, kindly consider subscribing. Press that notification bell and you will get an alert whenever I release a new video. I'm always happy to have you as part of this workplace leadership community. Leadership can be exhausting, juggling the high expectations. And this is not just physically, but emotionally. And the scary part is most of us don't realize just how overstretched we are until it's too late and now you're feeling detached and you're even wondering if you love your job anymore. I've been there, and you've probably been there if you're the kind of person who believes in squeezing every second out of every minute out of every hour out of every single day. When I say it, it feels like a compliment until your human batteries are barely hanging on 5% charge and the signs are too far gone to ignore. So if you're passionate about your career, please stay with me till the end of this video. You just may experience 1 or 2 eye-opening moments specifically for your health. If you're ready, let's jump right into it. Sign number 1, you're constantly irritable or short-tempered. Have you ever snapped at someone and immediately thought, oh my goodness, that was uncalled for? Maybe your assistant forgot to copy you on an email, and that's an honest mistake. But instead of brushing it off, you are furious. And you find that little things that never used to bother you before now want to literally rob you of your hairline. A minor mistake from your teammates, another meeting request, or even someone chewing loudly just next to you. It all feels unbearable, just like sandpaper on your ears. And woe unto your co-workers if someone asks for your input, because you will not have a problem putting them in their place. You're not going to have a problem asking them to go figure it out themselves instead of asking you to do their work. This is not just stress. This is exhaustion talking. And the first thing that you want to do in a situation like this is to identify the real issue. What is the real cause of your irritability? Are you feeling overwhelmed from having too much on your plate? Or are you genuinely tired? Are you genuinely exhausted? Are you feeling resentful? Where is the feeling coming from? You can only successfully treat an ailment when you know where the problem is coming from. So try tracking your moments of frustration and ask yourself where they could be coming from. It's probably from the back-to-back meetings that you've been having with no breaks in between, for example, in which case just forcing yourself to take a 10-minute pause between the meetings is going to do the trick. And then look closely. Some tasks that are really draining you could actually be delegated to someone else. Not everything needs your input. You do not have to do it all. And then actively exercise patience. The next time someone addresses you and you literally feel like the clouds are already gathering on you, count backwards for 5 seconds, just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to regulate your breathing before responding, and you're going to notice the difference. Sign number 2, you feel like you're failing even when you are not. And this happens mostly to overachievers when you set the bar so high, and no matter how much you achieve, no matter how high you go, you still feel like you're not doing enough. Everyone around you sees that you're absolutely crushing it, except you. Just think of your colleagues, people that you know who literally get 9 out of 10 in a review, but they go about obsessing about the one that they missed. Or even your classmates back in the day, back in school, who could get 85% in an evaluation, and they literally go missing meals, they put their feet in cold water, they banish sleep just to make up for the 15% in the next evaluation. High standards are good, but self-sabotage is not. So if lately you've been receiving great feedback, but you focus on the one criticism, it's even keeping you awake at night, and you even start doubting yourself, you could be dealing with emotional exhaustion. And I have a mentor who introduced me to celebrating small wins. So in moments like this, you want to keep a wins list. This is going to go a long way. Call yourself for a meeting, go through your emails, scroll through your phone, cross-check your memory, and you'll find that there are big and small wins that you have accomplished recently. Take a pen and a paper, write them down, so that they can just be etched in your mind. And it's acts like this that are going to serve as a reminder to you of the impact that you are making in people's lives, just through your job, through your contribution, whenever the doubts start creeping in. And sometimes it also helps when you take a step back and look at yourself from an outside perspective. Look at yourself from the outside in. Would you put the kind of pressure that you exert on yourself on someone that you genuinely care about? Would you talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself? And I talk a lot about your inner circle in most of my videos. If a friend was this hard on themselves, what would you say to them? Say that to yourself. Champion yourself as you would someone that you hold dearest to your heart. And this brings us to sign number 3, which is your sleep. Your sleep is either a mess or it's non-existent. So you've convinced yourself that there's nothing wrong with you apart from the normal pressure that comes with work, just like everybody else. But you find yourself tossing and turning in bed. Your eyes are wide open at 3 in the morning. And the reality is you're so tired. Your body feels heavy, but your brain is wide awake. It's replaying all the work conversations that you had and the deadlines that are yet to be met. And if you're not waking up at this odd hours of the night or of the morning and thinking about work, you're literally getting home and you're so drained and out of it, passing out even before finishing your meal, but you still wake up so tired. This is not just bad night's sleep. This is a sign of deep exhaustion where your nervous system is literally telling you it's overstimulated, and even rest is not going to recharge you. So your body checks into the constant stress response, or what you call the fight or flight mode, because you're now running on empty. And if you do not slow down, your body is going to force you to do it. You're going to find that you start getting sick more often because your immune system has been compromised. Then you find yourself forgetting things easily. You're feeling mentally slow, mentally foggy, and even, let's talk of the mental and emotional shutdown. Exhaustion will always come to collect its debt. So if you notice that your sleep is off for more than 2 weeks straight, a reset is crucial. Before bed, give your brain that permission to rest. Try what you call a brain dump method. Just write down everything that comes to mind. 5 minutes, a good 5 minutes before you go to sleep, especially that which is stressing you the most. It's going to signal to your brain that it doesn't have to keep on reminding you all night. Then consciously protect your brain. Stop checking your emails at least 1 hour before bed. Try playing a podcast or even white noise just to distract your brain from the work thoughts, and see how you feel during the subsequent days. And also during the day, consider taking the mental break so that your brain understands that outside of work, there is still life. There is life outside of your work, and it's just as important. Sign number 4, you fantasize about just quitting everything. It's not that you are lazy, it's not that you are stressed, it's just that you are too depleted to give. And now the thought of just dropping everything and running away to some nice quiet place sounds more appealing than another day in this grind. So you're literally picturing a life where you're not working, and it makes so much sense to you. If you've ever fantasized about walking out on your job and never ever looking back, that's a red flag. Those moments when it feels like your job is taking more from you than what it's giving back. And just think of the days when you actually listen to your body and you say, fine, I'm going to take a few days of compassionate leave to just unplug and give myself some tender loving care. But then the thought of returning back to work fills you with so much dread. This means that you're not just tired, but you are fundamentally misaligned with your job. Or maybe you're misaligned with your work environment, and then you run the risk of going into a mental or emotional shutdown. That break is not going to help if the thought of work makes you feel trapped. What you need right now is a more sustainable strategy. So before making any drastic decision, ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, am I exhausted, or do I genuinely no longer care about my job? Is it the job really, or am I operating in a toxic work environment? What would I need to change for me to enjoy my job again? Such that if it's exhaustion, then what you need is a proper break and reset. Not just a weekend, but real structured rest. Use your leave days if you have, and then try taking this time away from your emails, screens, the gadgets, anything related to work and anything that reminds you of work stress. And you'd be surprised that it's not your job that you hate, but you just needed a reset to gain more clarity. And if it's the work environment that is draining you, then you want to identify if it's the workload. Is it the leadership? Is it the culture at your workplace? Is it the job itself? And then decide if what you need is to set boundaries, or you just need to get on with an exit plan. And then if you feel like nothing could actually fix your current predicament, then it may equally be time for you to plan your exit strategy. Think of the next chapter of your career. You don't have to quit tomorrow, but you'll definitely need a long-term plan to protect your energy and mental wellness. And if you're thinking low pressure, more balance is all you need to see the end of the tunnel, then you need to explore ways to restructure a role that is going to give you a breather. Sign number 5, you feel overwhelmed even by the smallest of decisions. That moment when you realize that decision fatigue is real. Maybe you've been making all these major decisions in the office all day, every day, the budgets, the hiring and firing, the growth strategies. But now someone just asks you, where are we going to eat? Where would you like us to go eat? And your brain shuts down. Worse still, you're sitting in a restaurant, but you're unable to choose between fries, pasta, salad. You can actually see the frustration in the face of the waiter impatiently looking at you. This is a clear sign that your mental energy is tapped out and your brain is just looking for relief, not logic. Leadership is not about making all the decisions, it's about making the right decisions. So you're going to notice that when your brain is overloaded with decisions all day, every day, it's going to start defaulting to the easiest option, which is not always the best one. For example, you have an interview that you have to conduct, you have to sit in the panel, but you're too drained to analyze the candidates deeply. So you make impulsive decisions. Pick the people who just seem okay for the job, just to get over with it, which means that you're silently lowering the quality of your choices without even realizing it. And on paper, you'll be making a bad hiring decision. The ripple effect, high turnover rates within the organization. So before you find yourself procrastinating on important decisions, try reducing the unnecessary ones. Just simplify what can be simplified. Things like meal prep for you, the daily routines, your outfits. I read somewhere that Steve Jobs, Barack Obama, these people used to wear the same outfits daily to save mental energy for bigger decisions. You don't have to try everything at home. The more you protect your mental energy, the sharper and more effective your leadership is going to be. So delegate the small choices where possible to reduce mental clutter. And you may also want to prioritize the heavy decision making for earlier in the day when your mind is at its freshest. Call it decision time for that which you consider very highly important in your calendar. And we're talking about those important calls, the hiring, the strategic meetings. You may also need to tell yourself out loud that not every decision needs to be perfect. Sometimes good enough is just that, good enough. You probably find yourself overthinking your options. If you are that person, narrow it down to 2 to 3 choices instead of 10 and accept that whatever you choose is good enough. It's called decision framework. Sign number 6, you feel numb and probably disconnected from your work. So you're at a point where you just let the emails pile up, and even as you scroll through them, the most response that you can come up with is, okay, noted, zero energy. There's a time when you used to come fast in those brainstorming meetings. You had the ideas. Let's try this. Let's do this. How about this approach? Your excitement was palpable. But now all that is just noise to you, and you cannot say that you care as much. Yes, you check your emails. Yes, you attend those meetings, but the spark is gone, and you're literally operating on autopilot. You're showing up, you're responding, you're leading, but emotionally, you've checked out. These are the moments where you may be tempted to push harder. If I just work more, I'll get this motivation back. The hidden danger here is that you risk hitting a breaking point where your body cannot just push any further. Just imagine driving a car with an empty tank. Whether you're on the highway, freeway, traffic, it will eventually stop. And when you stop caring, poor leadership decisions are just around the corner because you're feeling uninspired, you're highly reactive, and if push comes to shove, you may actually decide to quit your job, but on impulse. And then this comes with its own bag of health consequences, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, weakened immunity. It's very important to note that your drive and ambition don't need fixing. Maybe it's your exhaustion that does. So instead of pushing harder, take a step back. Try listening to your body. That numbness is a signal. It's not an obstacle. So ask yourself, what am I really avoiding by staying busy? And if I didn't have to work this hard, what would I actually want to be doing right about now? Also, you want to ask yourself, when did this start? When did this start feeling like a chore? Because there's a time where you once enjoyed working. What changed? Those moments of reflection are going to help you reconnect with your deeper why in that job, so that you can come back stronger and also be more fulfilled in your job. And then take baby steps. Pick one thing at a time that excites you. For example, it could be just setting a fresh goal or something that you used to enjoy about your work before, and start there. Find those small moments of purpose. Maybe it's mentoring someone. That can never go out of style. And it also helps to journal, put in writing everything that is draining you. Sign number 7, you're not enjoying the things that used to bring you joy. This is one of the signs that just creeps up on you, and it almost feels normal until it's not. Just think of a time when you used to love working out, for example. You used to love reading, catching up with friends, prioritizing the Sunday brunch, but now you do not have a problem just canceling plans last minute. You're ignoring texts from friends and family. You're probably skipping gym classes with a very justifiable excuse that comes up every single day. And your favorite hobbies no longer speak the same language to you as they did before. You do not have time, and even downtime feels exhausting. Does this sound familiar? This is a clear signal from your nervous system that you are in survival mode. And the hidden danger here is that the longer you stay disconnected from joy, the harder it's going to be to get back and to reconnect, even when you try. So at first, you just feel like you're tired, you don't want to hang out with friends, for example. And then over time, you stop wanting to do it. Depending on how long this takes, the brain is going to eventually rewire itself to believe that joy is optional and exhaustion is your new normal. Fun is productive, and a happy, rested you and I tend to perform better at work than our drained, overworked version. So this exhaustion means that you need to refill your emotional tank. And the best place to start would be to reintroduce the small, low energy joys back into your life. No pressure. Just instead of forcing yourself to enjoy something, go for passive engagement. And if you used to love reading, but now you cannot focus anymore, try listening to an audiobook for 5 minutes. No pressure to finish it. If you loved socializing, but you honestly don't have the energy for so many people, text one person instead of planning a whole evening with friends. These small steps are going to lead you back to joy, one moment at a time. And also consciously schedule joy Like a meeting. If work can be scheduled, so can other things that actually make you feel human. And you call it blocking joy time in your calendar, if you may, and treat it as a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. In Swahili, we call it kujita mkutano. Even 10 minutes of something non-work related can actually do wonders in resetting your brain. And the reality is that leadership can be tough, but you're not your job, neither is your worth tied to how much you grind. If you recognize yourself in any of these signs, it may just be a clue that you need to press pause and recharge. Your career is going to thank you for it. Your team is going to thank you. And most importantly, you are going to thank yourself. Just please let me know in the comments which of the 7 signs really hit home for you the most. And if you got value from this video, I hope you did. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more leadership and wellness content just like this one. And also have a look at this video on how to detach your self-worth from your work. It goes hand in hand with some of the elements that we've discussed in this video. And see you on the next one. Bye.